Welcome, commanders. Today we're going to try something new. Normally I take the patch notes, I script them out, and I make a video for this. That's weird. Okay. Sorry, I heard myself talking to myself, and that's not usually how it's supposed to go. But today we're going to do it live, and we're going to do a stream of the new update 1.7 for Homeworld Mobile. Now, this update is bringing in a ton of new stuff. First of all, we have ship customization, so you know there's going to be getting skins now. And I'll let the banner do some of the talking here. We're still in the Adventures of Nimbus, so make sure to do all your signal missions. I won that community spotlight, so thanks, community. I really appreciate being able to do these videos. So we'll see that we get also an officer exchange. We're going to get T4 Pahras Rock. We're going to bunch of new market items, some to work towards, some to lament over how much grind it's going to be taking. But one of the things that just came up is this new services tab. So this is going to be stuff that is collectible. So either missions that you've completed, clan missions, things that happened overnight. So like I set these parts to fab overnight, set the research to collect overnight. So we're just going to go ahead and get that started. Check out my refining. I got these two to be pulled, but I had to do a whole bridge change. So I'm sorry, those numbers are just going to sit up there. But while we're in here, let's talk about some of the changes to officers. So now we can see that they are sorted by rarity and then by name. It used to just be by name, and that used to be a nightmare for finding all the right officers. So now we're going to see that we have our legendaries up top, followed by our rares and commons, all the way down the bottom where they belong. I'm just kidding. I got a lot of love for the commons. They actually built up a majority of my star base here. You'll see as I start going through, most of the commons are star bases. Oh, this is interesting. So the actual order of officers has changed now too. Let me see if I can scroll back up to the top. Alright, so we still have comms officers at the top, but now engineers get their second place, gunners get third place, medics are fourth, miners are fifth, operators are sixth, pilots, quartermasters, and finally we have scientists at the bottom. Yes, and look at all of my epic scientists, my legendary scientists. Hopefully I can get rid of this, but ultimately it looks like I'm just going to be getting a bunch more epic, yeah, legendaries. All right, so let's kind of talk about some of the market changes that we got here. So all right, so I'm at my star base. I'm not going to be able to see the market from here, but I do have services, which are just going to be all my collection stuff. And this is also kind of interesting. This is showing me that I have weapons. This is on another fleet, so these other research points are on other fleets as well. So it doesn't just necessarily show which fleet is active, but that's also kind of interesting because I set that over. We'll have to look through the patch notes to see if maybe we got some off fleet mining reduction. Man, there's so many patch notes. Oh my god, this is a large one. There was also some, well, now that we're here, let's go through some of the new map. We'll see that there's a new section down here. The Dark Stars section with the Mixicodal Abyss. So one of the new features that they've added is as you zoom out, it's going to tell you, okay, this is the Iateque space, it's the Yotes, we got the Tanakh and the Emissaries. Kangassians are still small, but that just might be due to their size. But now it looks like we actually have sections. So the Kangassian drift between these two Kangassian spaces. We now got the Dark Stars over here. Not necessarily sure the hinterland. So that's kind of cool. Yautashura. Yeah, so that's where the finger. Oh, it looks like the space got combined here, and we got a couple new signals. that area. Now they did add signals for almost every region, so we'll see a little bit of the far reaches expanded out here in the Tanakh Empire, some more space up here, and I thought the emissary got some extra space, but I think it's just T4 for the Aetic ways and for pretty much all the other factions. Hungarian space, Medea is still going to stay T0, and it doesn't look like there's any T4 Crown Gassian places yet. But let's jump to a known system near here. I can scan that space, hopefully, and we'll show you some new items in the market. So just a little brief on that. Let's see, go through my pages and pages and pages of notes. T4 system market updates. Okay, the new adamant instructor. This is actually kind of leaked beforehand on the Discord. Somebody saw an ad for it pop up. But this is essentially going to be a module that's equipped to star bases and produces adamant. Produces 200 every 24 hours. It requires some crew. It says it requires 5 crew. I'm not sure what it is. But it can only be bought once per player, and let's dive just straight into the market here. That's going to be the 20k animat. So that's going to give us a nice significant buff to our daily animat production. But if you're just going to buy your way up there, you're going to at least need to spend $100. So good job, Stratosphere, on separating me from my money. I'll probably buy that eventually, but we'll see if I can actually save up 20k adamant to deserve it. But these two modules, the rare earth mining operations, are going to probably want to come before that. So both of these are going to be 200 staff modules for the starbase. It's going to take it's going to take 4 hours to complete, and it says we'll send out mining fleets together. Celestial bodies, rare gains dependent on the number of asteroid clusters in the system, or asteroid clusters. So I think they'll probably we'll dive into all of this in much more detail later on. I'll probably have to do an updated mining video now, but this is probably going to be based on kind of like the gases. So if you have more B belts in a system, those are going to get that system's going to reward more B ore. This is just for rare earth. So it's interesting. We'll see how that goes. And otherwise, nothing else is new on this page except for skins. So I've already purchased 2 of them. There are 3 available. The Chaos Stripe is the last one. Just wanted to show you how expensive this is. It's going to be 200k. No problem. Purchase it. I got 30 mil. Cool. And this is going to allow us to do ship customization. Now, before we get into ship customization, I'm going to finish going through the market here because there are a couple other things. We'll see that in our code fragment market, we can now purchase rare earth mining operations T3 and T4. So I'm definitely going to buy those actually right quick before I forget. As for this, I don't think there's much update here. There was a weird thing. It sent my tier 0 stuff to the top of the scale. So I'm gonna remove that one. But I don't think any of the sorting and ordering has changed here. Oh, nice. Okay, so now they actually separated internal modules and external modules. That's why it was a little bit confusing here. So we'll see that they are separated out now. All my weapons systems are going to essentially be separate than the internal modules that we can build. So that's going to be nice. I like that. I like that a lot. The next thing I hope that they fix is stacking these multiple craft, because I got a lot of them, and I would like to just see like how many I have of each. Crystals. I don't think anything's changed about how that. Yeah. So let's see. That's some generally nice changes there for the stash, in my opinion. Nice to separate the external and the external mods. Definitely a very good use case. Let's see how much ammo I get. 375. We don't need this anymore because I think with update 1.6 now flagships come with their tier of sensors, so you no longer have to fab a T0 or a T1 sensor to switch out anymore. But while I'm here, we've got the codes. Gonna go buy to the market. Oh, there's the code fragment market. Do I have enough yet? After my dailies today, I'll get one. Not enough T4 internals, but I do have enough T3 internals. So this is going to be a weekly cooldown, it looks like. This will probably reset every Sunday. You'll be able to buy just one a week. And obviously the prestige for these are still going to be here. I feel like this is probably going to be a lot better purchase now. The 200 animate to try to stock up to 19k. I believe that's going to take about 4 months naturally to get. So good luck with that. Let me know how it turns out once you get it. I'll be a little bit behind on that, getting that one. And I deposited all my small parts, so I don't have that. So cool. So this leads us into pretty much everything. So actually I got some stats here for the rare earth mining operations. T3 epic gas harvesters. Oh, so these are the Iotique liaison. And we'll see now, added to this tab up here, we have our officer exchange. So we'll be able to pop in some officers here and get some out. We'll go over that in just a little bit. I'm going to buy my supplies here. I buy these every day. I mean, I just sell parts to be able to buy these T3 and T4 parts. I hope that they can bring them in. Oh man, epic mining and crystal operations for adamant. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. But hey, that's cool. I like it. Actually, no. These should be already fabbed for adamant. I think that's what they've put forward in the market already. If you go to the drop down here, you'll see that stuff that's already fabbed, like this Colocus launcher, but you just get a BP if you buy it for credits, which I see that now that they have these two here. This one's for credits and this one's for animat, which what I don't understand. It needs to be more consistent. If I'm paying the animat to get parts, I should be getting the full part, right? Because otherwise I'd be spending the animat on increasing production, decreasing production time. So they should just be fully fabbed. I shouldn't have to extra fab stuff if I'm paying animat for them. I mean, the case kind of goes here to the destroyer, right? I could purchase this fully fabbed destroyer for 99, but why would I get a BP for 599? I still have to get all the parts to fab it. I still have to do everything else except for getting the BP, which isn't generally the hardest thing to get a blueprint in a Strike or something else, even for higher or lower tier players. So that's kind of annoying. I wish that those would actually be fabricated already. Where were we at? We were at the liaison office with the requisitions, and that's all that the Iotique gets. So they'll get those 3 new modules there, which are fantastic, first of all, but the fact that they cost animate, not going to get much there. So the first 3 skins are available also. Let's see, all those are in that. There's nothing else in the other markets, it looks like. So let's go look at the ship's customization screen. Now I'm actually working on a video about this. Player icon here, if you select level, this will take you to your commander profile. In your settings here, this is where you can turn up or turn down your settings. This is a new thing here. Oh, that's cool. I don't want blueprints, and I don't want new research, because those kind of get bugged a little bit, but I do want to know when I get new officers. Touch feedback. Automatically mine up asteroids and automatic. Oh, this is a new thing here also. Auto launch squads. So now they've changed it so that you can auto launch all your ships, only strike crafts, only collectors, or no auto launch. This used to be just a toggle where you turned off or turned it on. Item category default state is collapsed. Ooh, so that means when you go into your items, it now shows you whether it's open, or they're all collapsed or they're all expanded. So I kind of like that from a from a I kind of like that from a perspective of saving phone resources, right? Phone processor resources. It's not trying to load in all these items; they're all collapsed, and I can load in the items that I want to see. Favorite officer sorting, show new in the favorite category, shows favorites in the front of the officer class. So this means that all my favorite operators will still be in the operators, not at the top of the list above everybody else. So that's going to be interesting. We'll play around with some of those, but exciting stuff. I love this. And this is going to lead us into customization. Bam! Now I get to apply skins, and this is how it should have always been. Sobin should be black and red. So Keith Sobin's. Oh, lighting. So like different star colors. This is actually kind of interesting because red stars generally will reflect off of like red material, or red light reflects off of red material differently than it does off of white material. So it's nice that they include that there. That's really cool. We need the Sobin signal there. That's really cool that they included a nice. That's definitely what I want there. If I click extra, I can show this is my clan tag. Nice. So this is gonna get kind of wild. I want the game developers to be able to support this game for a long time, and I hope that selling skins to people that want skins are gonna like it. That is cool. That actually just makes me want it now. Like, I'm not gonna pay real money for skins on Minecraft. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I gotta earn stuff, right? It's the combat, the stuff that you're earning. It's nice. All right, so let's do the officer exchange. This is going to be interesting. So originally it was kind of thought that officer exchanges would follow the officer, or would follow the officer perk, but now it's just any type of rarity. So, it's going to load. But, oh, I love this. All right. I love that this is all collapsed now. Every time they come in here, I just want to trade in some comms officers. Let's get rid of these guys. Boom. So now it only allows me to. Oh, that's nice. It already actually pre-sorts it. I just want to get rid of all these scan officers because I have epics. Now, this is also an interesting point here. If you're upgrading commons or uncommons, be sure to level up your officers before you send them to this grinder, because otherwise it's going to not give you very many insigs back. Um, Generally, anytime you dismiss an officer, you get 5 insignias in return, without any levels. But commons, if you level them up to 4, you actually get like 25 in return, but you only spend like 12. So you actually get a yield of more insignias for essentially the cost of the promotions. So now once I've dumped all these in here, I exchange an officer, and this is essentially going to be a random officer. Right, it's not going to be based on whatever I put in there. So because I put 4 of those guys in here, I'm not getting a better chance of getting a scan officer, but I'm still going to get what I get here. So this is actually cool too. This is a new function, is this reward screen where you can actually click on stuff and get a little bit more details. So we'll see that, this doesn't actually include what his skills are, which is generally the most important thing. So hopefully we'll see some updates to that for the officer rewards, but that's not too bad. So now I have my new officer here. It's a damage. I still don't see it. Oh, it's just because it doesn't show it in here. All right, let's see if I can see it on my bridge. Pulsar. Nice. All right. Seriously, screw you guys. Stratosphere. This should not be the same symbol for my ions or... See, like, what officer is this? Huh? Is this an ion or is this a pulsar? What about this one or this one or this one or this one? We don't know. I can tell you that this one is for kinetic weapons. I can tell you that this one's for missiles. But I can't tell you what any of my ions or pulsars are without actually looking at them. So hopefully we can see a change to that now, but for now, that's just... let's see what else we can do. We're just going to go through exchange officers. I want to get rid of so many scientists. Okay. Oh, so this is actually a really cool feature. So this is not letting me assign any of these that are... they won't let me put any, they won't let me exchange any that are not already assigned. So assigned officers cannot be exchanged. It's really cool. Still kind of hate how slow this can be sometimes. Speed. And see, these commons I should have all leveled up. I would have gotten more insignias returned. Right now I just get 25. I could have gotten like 100 or so. Oh, I don't know who my hiring staff is supposed to be, but man, I got too many scientists. I can't use this many production scientists. All right, so now I'm going to stuff all this with production, and we're going to see what we get back. We will not get a production officer guaranteed, but maybe we still get a scientist if we put a majority in. What was the majority last time? Sensors officers, and I didn't get a sensor in return. Ooh, epic engineer. Oh man, I could just sit here and like roll this for an hour. Somebody was in the chat yesterday and they said, "Oh, you're not gonna you're not gonna sit here and or they said that this is gonna be like Vegas slots." It's exactly what it is, except it's free because I have too many officers. I don't need this many officers. Boop. Nice. But I still can't tell what he is. I can't tell if he's a pilot. He looks like he's an engineer. I get a lot of engineers too. All right, I could actually sit here and do this forever, but I'm not going to right now because I do need to get rid of a lot of officers. Oh, I got an epic miner. Ah, that's gonna be so nice. That's gonna be so nice. So let's go back and look at what I actually got for new officers. I got flagship hull plus 8% epic. Nice. Very, very nice. I like. I got another plus 8 escort hull. Type C miner, and I got an uncommon production. So that's cool. Let me switch fleets, and we're gonna go kill some Kangaskian scum in PR4. So while I go through this, let me pull up my notes for there's also an action for favoriting officers, so we'll see that here in just a second. And there's new load screen tips. So you'll see that one load screen tips are going to be relevant to your tier. Oh man, that looks like a bumblebee. That's so cool. Oh, yeah, I like it. So not only are tooltips relevant to your tier, but there's also going to be some other tooltips. So let's see. You can now see hints that will include small bits of lore. Will no longer be the same hints repeatedly, and there's also been a reduction in time. So from 15 seconds display to about 10 seconds. So we're gonna see more cooler things with that. That's gonna be exciting. But we've also going to see a change in the how the sorting for this is supposed to go. What's the sorting for strikes? Old this tier. So okay, so now the strikes are sorted by names. All the station defenses are here. All the PRs are here. All the breaches are at the bottom, and that's nice. I like that. Before this was sorted by tier, so it'd be pirate hideout, and then PH and station defense and Pahras Rock, and then it would be the tier 3 versions and then the tier 4. So this is a little bit nicer. I'm able to actually. This is usually the one that I actually go to the most, so it's gonna pop up quicker. Did they change any dailies, weeklies? No. They had changed the officer job category. I don't believe there was many others here. I do want to look through some of the other notes and see if there's anything new, but that's not much. But let's actually explore PR4. Yeah. Let's see if we can jump into the chat. Anna Mantina, Kill Bill. Nice. Let's go. PR4. Alright, so this is going to be the first Pirate Strike Tier 4 that I've gotten to play. Let's see, what else we got here? Gotten over pretty much most of the update, except for balancing. Now, this was like 4 or 5 pages long. I can't go through all the balancing changes, but essentially, Pulsar's got like a double buff nerf, and Pulsar's got a double buff nerf, and let's see, 743. So I didn't lose that much for my Pulsar build. But let's see if I can look up some of the notes while this combat's going. I'm just gonna put this on. All right. So let's see if I can kind of start breaking down some of these balancing adjustments. Fixed a ton of bugs. And we're also going to have new signals and liaison missions. So we'll get to explore those hopefully a little bit better. The second he leaves, I get nuked. Oh, that's a pretty tough strike. There's tons of missile frigates. Okay, so missiles actually got a buff, and also all the buffs and nerfs are for enemies as well as us. So I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, Adamantina. We're gonna have to go. Let's see. So they've changed the duration of all of the relic pickups, and all the signals. So we'll go over into that a little bit more. The defense turrets in PR2 and 3 are now 10% stronger. Rebalance. Convoy missions. Let's see, new signals, swords, increase other balance changes. Okay. Reward rework. The types of rewards you will receive from the following sources: abandon, create, liaison rewards, signal rewards, and all rarity of signals and strikes. Besides that, so you receive from this. So any other items you receive, besides changing what items you can receive via which source. Okay, so for tier 2 and tier 3, you used to be able to kind of get the same strike rewards as you got from containers, liaison signals, and rarity drops. So they've added several new items to drop pull, but it doesn't really necessarily explain what they meant. Patch notes. Loading screens. Adamantium. Mission rebalancing. Okay, so it didn't tell me necessarily what items we can earn from these, but I do have a couple things stored in. We can kind of explore and see what we might get in terms of blueprint drops. And I think this is majorly what they had actually were changing is T4 episode. So they added some items to drop pools, and they changed. It looks like they reshifted how T4 kind of does their drops. Essentially, how it used to work is I don't have any of the. I only would be able to see new containers here, but there is a chance there's. So it just says that they reworked the type of things that you would receive. And looking at it from here, I don't see any more blueprint rewards in cargo drops right now. We'll see if that changes. Let's see. Kangasian cargo. It doesn't allow me to select. It just says package. So let's open it all. Let's see what we get. It used to be a blueprint reward from every single open. So I had 4. I got 4 blueprints out of it. So roughly the same. I do like this overview at the end. It's kind of nice. But essentially I guess it looks like for cargo, we're probably never going to see, we're not going to see drops anymore for blueprints. But it looks like they will have crystal drops. Ooh, nice. That is a big bonus. Also with the RE. That is also an interesting buff. Ooh. 2 crystal drops, 2 package opens. I like it. Large spoils. So these are going to remain relatively the same. Gasian loot. Let's see what these drop. Do they still drop the cryopods? Those are going to mostly stay the same. Looks like they changed signals and strikes. So let's. I mean, can I not scan these systems yet? Oh, okay. See, I have to be kind of close to these systems to be able to scan them. T4. Let's go. Oh, and they added a timer. 1 minute. How many seconds? That might be a bug because they used to just say seconds. I'm a bumblebee. Bee. All right, Canna. Welcome to Canna. Got services, distinction. Collect my reward for capturing some insignias. All right, so let's see. So there's supposed to be two new. Okay, so here's an epic mining operation. This is gonna be interesting. So part of the mining operations is you have to like hunt down enemy resource collectors and destroy them. You'll get special rewards. T4 Kagassian signals. I mean, there's 3 epics here, so that's quite a lot. Let's look at some of the pirate expulsion, convoys. They added a new missions. New liaison mission is supposed to be a bounty. Bounty, you'll need to catch and destroy one specific enemy in 2 minutes. 45 It's marked. Okay, so you kind of have to go hunt around and find somebody for that. That's actually kind of interesting. There was none in this system, but I'll definitely look out for that. Let's try our new mining operation. See how far we can get with this one. Um, Yet.
Hyperspace jump complete.
Interesting. Man. See, that's what I'm looking for. The controllers. Give me. I died again. Oh no. Interesting. All right, so we'll play that again, but I might actually pay attention this time.
Hyperspace jump complete.
in. Collector drawing fire. Docking with carrier. Docking with carrier. Engage all hostiles. Move attack confirmed. Man. Engage all hostiles. Move attack confirmed. Understood. Repair target locked in.
Well, that's actually a pretty hard mission. 2 destroyers and like 5 frigates and a bunch of fighters. That's actually pretty significant. I'll try it again. I can do it.
We have incoming.
Hyperspace jump complete.
Move order confirmed. This isn't looking good. Entry confirmed. Guarding. On our way. Move order confirmed. On our way. Green line confirmed. Move attack coordinates locked in. Move order confirmed. Oh man. Green line confirmed. En route. New heading set.
I like that. That's a cool combat mechanic.
Destination locked in. Repair order confirmed. Guard order confirmed. On our way.
Nice. See, this is what happens when you use strategy. Wow, this destroyer is epically slow
Move attack confirmed.
fighting this miner. I hope this is kind of what like the game actually ends up turning into. I would love to just hunt down an allied research collector operations. This is actually kind of fun. I like it. I like it a lot. Clear the mining sector. And so these are going to have a decent attachment of wars with them. We're going to be able to get some insigs, some code fragments, the normal ore and stuff. And being an epic mission, it does have 2 drops in addition to an insig. And ooh, this is actually telling me progress on my dailies. This is kind of cool. I don't even know what that is. Complete 3 missions. Let's see. Oh, adventurism. Okay, 3 missions. That makes sense. So yeah, maybe we can go find a liaison signal. This one, distress calls. Those are all the same. Now these are available for tier 2 and tier 3 as well. Let's confirm this. So the mining assault is T1 through T4. The kithless mining assault is only going to be T4. And these are very available in rare and epic missions. So this means there's going to be more than one tier 1 epic mission now. Actually, there's only one tier 1 rare mission in Zatavan. That's the only rare T1 mission. So now we're going to have more opportunities to loop epic T1 missions and get specifically T1 and 6. Before this, T2 epics were the best way to find T2 and 6, or T1 and 6. So this might give us a better option to find that now. And we're also we're gonna look around for a new liaison mission called Bounty. So there are all 5. There's Kithless, Amsari, Yao, Tannic, and Kangasian. No Ayatakwe bounties. I don't know why, but we like the Ayatakwe anyway, so I guess we don't want to start hunting them for bounties, right? So we're also going to get some mission rebalancing. So the defense turrets are now 10% stronger in T2 and T3 strikes. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Convoy. That is only bounty liaison. It doesn't say whether or not the doesn't say if new liaison missions are only T4 or less, but let's go back to Negerada and see if they have one. Otherwise, I'm just going to be jumping around forever. But they did rebalance the convoy missions, so now the freighter moves 7% faster, and the freighter has more hull, up to 17% for tier 4, so it's not going to die so quickly, which was like the problem with all of T4 convoy missions. I avoided them like the plague. They just died too quickly. Yeah, do more damage. Okay, yeah, let me get better weapons. Sorry, I got tier 4 pulsars. So there's going to be more allied turrets in Tannock stations. There'll be at least 2 now, and Emissaries there'll be 3, and they've increased the strength of the enemies in escort missions. So not only do the freighters get better, but the enemies go down. Great stuff. Love that. Rebalancing distress calls, changed the composition of enemy waves, added more rare variations, added more epic distress calls, and changed the distribution of signals. So yeah, all that stuff on tier 3 was probably all that stuff on Discord is probably out of date. They might change. Or maybe they just added new signals, hopefully, or just change the current signals. So we'll look into that a little bit more. They've also reworked enemy waves in asteroid clusters, and then they've removed some of the stronger waves. For example, 4x Kankasian frigates in a T2 belt, which I've seen. They reworked enemy waves in different signal missions. So this is good news and bad news. We'll see how it goes, because I do remember there's a T4 in Makatia asteroid belt, first wave siege frigate command ship. Like it's a level 1 system. It's brutal. So hopefully that not only changes stuff for the tier 4, but some of the lower tiers where like you jump into a T1 signal and there just be a command ship. Like no. These guys need to fight a bunch of fighters. So there's a bunch of new signals, obviously, because they've added T4 space for all of the regions. So we'll go back to the system map. So now that these regions have been added, we're going to get T4 Kangasian signals. We're going to get T4 Yout, T4 Tannic, T4 distress signals, T4 convoy missions, Kangasian explosions, and T4 platform defense with Ayat Kote Tannock and Yout enemies. So there's just going to be much more variations in the type of enemies that you can fight in signals and the type of signals that we get. Before it was T4, it was only Emissary, Progenitor, or like Kithless, in addition to the liaison missions. So now we'll have T4 for every faction, which is great. And I think I already mentioned this, but the Progenitor Relic pickup time is now reduced. So it was 45 seconds in tier 1, it's now down to 30 seconds, so approximately a 33% decrease for that. Whereas T4 gets about a 12% decrease, from 30 to 34. And they've reduced the scanning difficulty for signals in T1 systems. So this is going to improve for new players scanning T1. That's going to be great. And I think that's all we got. Except for the buffs. That was the whole thing I was looking for. Okay, so let's talk about weapons. Pulsars now deal damage 25% more armor damage and 25% less hull damage. So pulsars already did the most hull damage, and they changed some stuff so that they accidentally got a buff, and so they just kind of flopped it. They gave it more armor damage instead of hull damage, which is nice because I mean energy weapons should deal more damage to armor. I mean that just kind of makes sense. So we'll see a little bit. I didn't get much of a change in rating, but if you had your whole armor buffed, either through modules or officers, or if you had your whole DPS buffed either through armor or officers, then those are gonna probably take a little bit of hit. I think most of my officers are hull damage anyway, so that's kind of where my loss in points came from. But I mean, if you have more armor stuff, think about tossing those guys up on the bridge here. So we got a 19 plus hold, and we'll have a 19 plus armor damage officer as well. That's gonna be where you're gonna get most of your stuff anyway. Now, in addition to flak weapons, this is really interesting because they just say flak weapons, not the flak destroyer. So this is gonna be something that's gonna come soon. Is going to be flak externally mounted weapons, so we can add a flak cannon on our flagship to be able to do some 15% more damage against corvettes and strike craft, but 20% less damage against frigates and larger ships. So they didn't increase the range at all for this flak weapons. Just inherently, they might buff the flak destroyer later, but they did increase how much damage it does to strike craft, which makes it pretty effective at swatting flies. And missiles now do 10% more damage against strike craft corvettes, but 10% less damage against frigates and larger ships. Now, it doesn't say whether or not this is just affecting hull damage or both hull and armor damage, but I would take it as both. Torpedo weapons deal 20% more damage against frigates and larger ships. So this actually might look like it's a class damage instead of a hull or an armor specific. It might just be class specific. So they should deal less damage against torps or strike craft corvettes. Now I wonder if this includes resource collectors in it, because normally you can just jump into a T4 signal and they'll just like a torpedo will one shot resource collector. But it says that enemy ships are also affected by this damage. That means torps are now 10% harder or 20% more damage against your flagships and frigates, so be wary of that. And they also increased the fire rate for ion, as well as ion cannon frigates and destroyer with ion cannon turrets. Now they increased it by 20%, but they increased the rate by 20%, but they decreased the hull and armor DPS by 20%. So this kind of just evens it out, but the ion just now shoots faster. Does the same amount of damage essentially. Chance to be hit by or Hygarian assault frigates against enemy strike craft. So that's a really specific thing. But for assault frigates, Against enemy strike crafts, chance to be hit. So 30% against fighters, 60% Corvette. This was done as a bug was made in the weapons class and therefore made them weaker than intended. So this is kind of interesting because the assaults weren't necessarily assigned to a weapons class, or they were assigned to the wrongs weapons class. They didn't get the buffs that kinetics should get. So they also increased the damage of fighters versus all strike craft by 20%. So that means fighters do more damage, but Corvettes are still better. So good luck. And the last thing is increase the fire control range and the turret range of the flak destroyer by 10. They also rebalanced the Type 8 torpedo brackets to fire 10% faster, 11% more hull DPS, and 20% less armor DPS. What? I mean, I guess so. This should be done as torpedoes should be, it should destroy hull quickly. Like, yeah, so you should have ions to generally strip a frigate or capital class's armor, and then you use the torpedo to take them out after that. I mean, that's interesting, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. I do like how torps just do. I just think torps should do a lot of damage, but take a long time to recharge. I mean, it's just kind of what it is. But we'll see. And there is a ton of bug fixes. Absolute metric ton. So they fixed strike craft did not always dock when having auto combat on. That means that docking now has priority numero uno. So that means if I'm in combat, they'll just dock. Fixed that any was counted as its own language and not any language. This is actually kind of funny because people would search in the clan. How do I search in the clan? We set our language to any, and it's actually a default. It's actually a separate language instead of all of them. That's kind of funny. The fixed sheet led some players to lose their quest progress. That was really good. Fixed that mind and airspace attributes were flipped and therefore affected the wrong stats. They now show the stats showed in the UI. Fixed that the stash button had no functionality when stashing one single internal module. So funny. Fixed that planet rings did not show intended color and ring texture. Fix that some of the missions are actually the wrong mission type, station being signals, signals being liaison missions. That's actually kind of funny. I've had that happen a couple times. I've had times where I've also jumped into a signal and it's already complete, and I'm just sitting there with nothing to do. Fix that healing turrets visually kept healing collectors even if they were out of range. So that's kind of funny because collectors would just kind of drift off and healing would continue for them. Fix that. Sometimes displayed the chances of item did not act. Oh, that's a pretty big one. Fix that sometimes reward screens was missing. Oh, from the heroic Ten of Shade. Fix that the clan member number did not update properly when the game was restarted. Fix that all T4's controllers have the same hull and armor. Fix that the fleet configuration screen. Sorting ship rarity was common. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. Whenever you would go to assign a ship, it was flipped. So let's actually check that out. Fleet configuration, go to here. When you hit change, it's so beautiful. I can just say I want my tier 4 ships. Yeah, so this actually used to be backwards. It would be common first, uncommon, then rare, all the way to the end. So that's nice. That's a nice fix. Small little quality of life. It's nice to have a huge list of updates and changes. That's really cool. Nope. All right. So they fixed that the ion cannon shot skill increased enemies' fire range instead of decreasing it. That's actually kind of funny. When you shot somebody with an ion, their guns just sped up, like they're overclocked. Fix that you're not able to scroll the left tab of your starbase if you had more than 4 modules equipped. So this was actually something I found, is if you get 5 modules in your starbase, it wouldn't let you scroll it. Fixed that all assignments are required refining did not take in bonus yield from officers into account. So this was crazy. You had to refine 500 ore per day for a daily. But you have to refine 400 base ore, 400 return ore. If you have a bunch of officers on your ship and you can do two, like you couldn't do the minimum. Now you'll be able to do that, which is nice. But sometimes like it would be really close. Like you had a bunch of officers and like you could do two and it would be like 498, or it would be like 501, but that wouldn't account for 500. They fixed that all skills doubled the time between the previous and the next shots. Doubled the time between the previous. Huh. It's weird. Wow. So they fixed that the Yout deep space torpedoes had an incorrect and way too small explosion VFX, which is actually kind of funny because they kill stuff with a area of effect anyway. So like it was a little tiny explosion, but your ship still died if it was too close to it, which is kind of funny. Fix that. Repair icon did not match its icon in combat view. Interesting. Mines explosions VXF was too small. Mines explosion. Fix the T1. We're dropping 2-2 salvage. Oh. Fix that perk of man. They got resource point capacity is changed to point production. Fix that. Sometimes string could be seen as name of AP in the target list. Fix the small closing mail in the mailbox. Made every other open up partially. Interesting. All right, so that is a ton of updates, a ton of information. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, subscribe, and make sure to check back for more content. We've got a officer video coming out, and it looks like I'm gonna have to make a new mining video for all the exchanges. And I just want to take one last look at my list here. I think that's everything. Great, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.